Today, we're joined by singer, songwriter, and actress Luana Sandoval. She's a five-lingual artist based in Brooklyn who's appeared on American Idol, worked on Dolly Parton's Mountain Magic Christmas, and released powerful songs like La Soledad and award-nominated music videos like Sent from Heaven. Stay tuned. This is going to be a good one. This program is part of the Scene Project's podcast network. The Scene Project features interviews with independent musicians, comedians, and artists from across the Midwest. Become part of our community and support local art wherever you are. Well, welcome into another exciting episode of The Scene. I am your host, Bubba Startz, and with me today is Luana Sandoval. Welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, it's probably a little bit warmer than it was the last time we got to talk.
That's very true. Yes, it's like an extended summer.
Yeah. Well, and I just saw they announced the dates for next year's Josie Music Awards, where we obviously met on the red carpet, and it's in September. So I was very grateful for that.
That's wonderful. That's even better.
Yeah. So before we get into all the stuff that you're doing now, which I'm sure you're very busy, I'd love to just give you the floor here and let you give us a little bit of your backstory.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about where you come from and kind of how you got into music.
All right. So I started writing music when I was 14 years old, and all I had was a notebook and a guitar. I taught myself how to play the guitar. And then from there, my parents, they always brought me to opera shows and ballet shows at the theater where we lived in Germany. And I just fell in love with the music. And then I decided to study opera singing. That was between 2012 and 2016. And from there, I felt like, okay, I don't live where I want to be. And I just explored New York. And that's when I decided to move to the States. And then from there, I also recorded my first EP. I have it right here in front of me, right here. And yes, and then I also lived in Nashville for a while. And I also had my own TV show. A talk show for songwriters called Songs of My Life. And it's also named by my latest album, Songs of My Life. And this album was nominated for a Wavy Music Award for Album of the Year. And also the song La Soledad is included. And that's a song I wrote with Madonna's former percussionist, and he's playing the guitar on the track.
Incredible. So many things to get into. I hope I can keep this to a 20-minute interview. So obviously, born in Germany and kind of raised there until you moved to the States?
That's correct, yes.
And in a multilingual house, I'm assuming. Is it your dad who's German and mom's Nicaraguan, or the other way around?
It's the other way around.
So mom's German, dad's Nicaraguan, raised in Germany, lover of opera at an early age, which I don't think happens to a lot of people. But talk a little bit about that. We don't get a lot of people on the show, at least currently, that were, raised in Europe. So talk about like the music scene and especially like the opera scene in Germany. Where at in Germany did you grow up?
I grew up in a small town called Saarburg. It's in the south. It's close to Trier, which is the oldest city in Germany. We have a lot of history, Roman Empire, and it's also close to Luxembourg. It's our neighbor country. So I was already, on the right spot, like a lot of culture. And we have every city, every town has a theater. So there's a lot of culture. I was exposed to a lot of culture at an early age. And also since I grew up in Europe, it was easy for me to learn different languages in school. And we had a lot of exchange programs with other schools from other countries and exchange with culture. And so it was easy for me.
Well, and you were growing. So did you learn Spanish in the home as you're learning German growing up as well?
Yes, I luckily I was raised bilingual because of my parents.
No, I'm jealous. In the United States, obviously, and you've probably learned this, that there's not a lot of us that learn any other language besides English. I was fortunate to take a couple of years of Spanish, and then I actually lived in Mexico for a year. And I wish I had taken more Spanish before I had moved there. But once I got there, everyone just wanted to speak English with me. So it didn't do me a lot of good. Not done pointing esto, es cuánto cuesto.
Yeah, very basic.
It's easy to get a lot of stuff done with a small vocabulary, but I that's also a very foreign experience to a lot of people, especially from, you know, the state that I grew up in. I grew up in South Dakota. So not a lot of people are really getting out of South Dakota, period, much less going to a foreign country and living as I did there for almost a year, and not as like a foreign exchange student or anything like that. I had landed there in a, I will say, in a precarious situation, to say the least. I envy the European cultures, and because you're surrounded by so many different languages in, you know, you cross the border. You said you were close to Luxembourg, so that's Switzerland.
No, that's so that will be Luxembourg. That's the country, and then they speak Luxembourgish, which sounds like a very strange German accent, um, or German dialect, I would say. And they also speak French. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, you're going just across the border and you have to know two other languages. Like it's just such a different upbringing.
Yeah.
So exactly why you would need to know 5 languages fluently just to be able to move around and to be comfortable when you do cross over those borders.
Exactly.
Now, moving to New York City, obviously when you came to the States, you landed in Brooklyn then?
So I landed in Brooklyn. I first came as a tourist in December of 2016. I spent 3 months in New York to explore the city and to make a decision if I want to move here, and to figure out how to get a work visa and so forth. And because it's hard when you don't know anyone, and how am I gonna get a work visa without having professional connections? So I figured that out. I found somebody who sponsored my artist visa, and also, yeah, he happened to be my music producer of my first record. So I ended up leaving US with this record in my hands. And so yeah, it was quite an experience to go to Times Square for the very first time, coming from a small town in Germany. And I felt like, okay, this is the city I want to live in. It's so energetic, and yeah, it's just everything fell into place.
Yeah, it almost seems like you were born to go there and to do these things and to live this beautiful, magical life that you've led since then. What did people think, like, when you come back to your small town from the United States and you have your record now, and like, what's the reaction from your friends and family that are close to you in your little town in Germany?
They were blown away, but by what I have accomplished within 3 months. And I'm always like somebody who thinks outside the box and make the impossible possible. So a lot of people in my small town there, they think like in the box, and they feel like everything is impossible. So I already had at an early age a different mindset, probably also because my dad is from Nicaragua, so I was already exposed to a different culture.
And I'd say that definitely helps. And for your dad, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a very easy thing to come from Nicaragua and end up in Germany, married to a beautiful German woman and building a life in a foreign country,
Yeah.
right? So I think that probably inspires you a little bit to know that nothing is impossible. And the only limits that there are truly in this world are the ones that we put on ourselves in our minds, right?
Yes,
When you tell yourself that you can't do something, well, then I will almost be assured that you will not do that thing. But if you come to every situation with the mentality that you can succeed and you can conquer whatever situation is in front of you, then you will do exactly that.
absolutely. Yes.
So from Brooklyn, so when you come back to the States, you're back in Brooklyn. That's where your visa was sponsored. How did you end up in Nashville then?
Okay, so my move was in May of 2018 from Germany to New York, and then I was doing pretty well until COVID hit, like anyone else. So I was already planning on going to Nashville anyways for a whole month in October of 2020. I was supposed to go to a songwriting retreat with Judy Stakey. She used to work for Warner Chappell, and she also was Katy Perry's songwriting mentor and for so many other artists. So I already took a couple lessons with her over Zoom, and she was supposed to do an in-person retreat in Nashville. Obviously, she had to cancel because of COVID. I already had my flight booked, my everything, and I was like, I'm going anyways, and to just see. I was already thinking of moving there anyways because the situation in New York was not pretty with everything being shut down. And so I spent the whole month of October in Nashville. Also, I spent a couple days in Memphis and in the Smoky Mountains. I went to Dollywood theme parks, and I was inspired. I wrote a couple songs. I ended up getting an apartment in downtown Nashville. I found work, and I was like, okay, it makes sense to move to Nashville for a while. And then in December of 2020, after my audition in California for American Idol, I moved to Nashville.
Fantastic. So I'd love to talk about, I was actually born in Tennessee, in the southern part of Tennessee, down by Chattanooga.
Uh,
I'm curious was it comfortable for you to like, because obviously New York is just like its own country, right? Like it's its own entity. It's this massive city, this huge metropolitan area, not a lot of trees and mountains and those things. Did it feel a little bit like home, kind of coming from southern Germany, which I'm sure is more forested land and maybe not like big mountains, but is it similar in look and feel more so than obviously New York City to back home?
So it's very interesting. The feeling of being in Nashville, I'm right now in Nashville as well. I have a show tonight. I feel like I'm back home in the small town in Germany, but still, Nashville is a big city as well. And in New York, it's very European. So it's like traveling within different European countries. So I like the combination of both cities, New York and Nashville.
Yeah, how amazing. And were you at the CMAs last night?
No, I had a show yesterday, and then I went to downtown Nashville. I saw all the people dressed up, and so tonight I'm performing at the Wedge at 2026 Linda Avenue. It's my first ticketed event in Nashville.
Amazing. Well, I'm so happy for you. I hope that it goes so well tonight. And we can't wait to follow your career. It's just such an incredible story. Now, as you're performing, obviously you studied opera early on. I'm
Yeah.
assuming that you're not doing just opera music any longer, performing. So what is your sound like? I mean, you have so many different influences that you could pull from. So what is the music that you're writing and performing currently? What's that like?
So my music is a mix of kind of musical theater, Gloria Estefan, Madonna, Americana music, to put it into one thing to describe it. So it sounds very much like very melodic, very strong in storytelling, but still the way I'm singing it, it's more like not exactly musical theater, but very lyrical. And people also ask me all the time, do you have a background in opera singing? So it's like pop opera kind of. Yeah,
Opera.
it's easier for people to listen to my music rather than me describing it.
Yeah, well, we can't wait to do that. I can't wait to find it and have you send them in. We'll play them on our Scene Projects radio station and get those. And I love having an eclectic mix. People ask me like, "Oh, well, what's your music station like?" And it's like, you can't put that in a box either, because
Right.
it's really the soundtrack of my life and of all of these beautiful, amazing, inspiring individuals that I've met. It's very much like the world's on shuffle right here. Here's the music of the whole world, and take it in, and just appreciate it. I'm not someone who has ever just been about like one thing. I kind of fell into the country music world. I've always been more on like the rock or reggae side of things, right? I've had a lot of the new album I just released, a lot of people comparing it to like a Sublime or Slightly Stupid
Yeah.
or some of these bands that kind of rode that rock reggae line. But because of where I live in the middle of the Midwest, I had to start playing a little bit more country music. And not that some of my music doesn't have a little bit of that turn, that it just, I feel like country music, and especially a place like Nashville, that's where the songwriting lives and the storytellers. That's kind of where we fall into now, because there's not a lot of room for that in pop music anymore or in rock music. There is just that. Do you feel the same way, that country music in Nashville is very accepting to you because of that songwriting and storytelling that you're doing with your music?
Yes, definitely. It has changed over the years. Like when I look back to like Dolly Parton, Johnny Cash back in the old days, and nowadays how the country music has developed. Now it's like there's another genre called contemporary country music and country pop, country rock. So it has changed a lot.
And I feel like what you hear on the radio from country music is so much different than people like you or I would be exposed to. Obviously, you were at the Josie Music Awards and you're part of these other, songwriting groups and different things, that you're really meeting artists that aren't in on that radio ready kind of popular country music side, which
Yeah,
is very much different from the music that we're hearing from our friends.
very true. Yes.
So new album, ticketed shows. It seems like things are moving really fast. Winning awards and hanging out at award shows now. Is this everything that you wanted when you left Germany in 2016 to pursue this dream of music?
Yes, it was always my dream, and I feel like I'm living the dream. But I always feel like I can do so much more. There's more out there. So right now I'm working. I started my own band project in New York last year, and I'm aiming to go on tour pretty soon. So that's my next milestone.
Luana, are you independent, or do you have like a management and booking agent and those kind of things that are helping you along? Or is this all you just making things happen?
This is all me making things happen, but
Incredible.
at some point, obviously, I want to have a team. Yeah, I have a small team. I have my music producers, and that's pretty much it. I have one PR person that I hire from time to time for different things, but yeah, the rest that's all on me. Yeah.
Yeah, you are very much in control of your own destiny. And I think that is just so incredible how you've grabbed the bull by the horns from a small town in Germany and said, I want to pursue this. I want this life. And then you just went out there and got it. That is so inspiring.
It is. I feel like a lot of people feel like because it is challenging, it is a challenging industry. They tell themselves, I will never try it because obviously there's a lot of money involved that you put into it first until you make it back at some point. So a lot of people step back from it and say, oh, I can't do this. So I want to be an inspiration for other people who are pursuing this career.
Fantastic. Well, you're inspiring me. Over the last year and a half, this podcast has really taken more of my time than my music career has, but releasing this new album and seeing it, charting on internet radio stations in the UK right now and getting some play in France and different things. And it's only been out for just over a week. It's reinvigorating me as an artist and as a songwriter to get out there, and really seeing everyone at the Josies inspired me. I had 150 artists. I just counted up all my autographs yesterday. So we did 150 interviews on the red carpet, and I'm just so incredibly motivated by seeing everyone else chasing this dream and knowing that I'm not the only one, because I live in a very small town in South Dakota still. And I have no intentions of ever like moving to Nashville or Brooklyn or any of these big music centers. I kind of did that, right? I'm it's just not that part of my life. My wife loves her small town. My kids do very well in the school here, so I don't want to uproot their lives. But I feel like in this day and age that you don't need to necessarily live in these places to have influence, right? Like you don't live in Nashville. Obviously, you have a very comfortable, having lived there before, you're very comfortable, but you can move in and move out of the city, still feel at home, but not have to put down your residence there.
That's very true. And with the technology nowadays, you can collaborate with musicians from around the globe, literally. I have somebody said they collaborated with somebody in Portugal and this album is now nominated for a Grammy Award. So, it's out there.
Incredible. Well, Luana, tell everyone where they can find your music online, and I'll let you get out of here so you can prepare for your show tonight.
You can find me at luanasandoval.official on all social media or on my website, luanasandoval.com.
Luana, so much. Thank you for your time today. And I appreciate you. Good luck to you and all that you do. And I hope to catch up to you in Nashville or on the road somewhere on tour, or maybe if I ever make it to New York City, which is now kind of one of the last items on the bucket list of my music career. And I'll come see you there.
Wonderful. It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being part of the scene.